You're listening to African Voices Radio.
African Voices Radio presents David Adodo Show.
Just like Rose of Sharon,
just like Lily of the
and your lips taste better than the wine.
Verily, verily, oh,
even your eyes seems like that of the doe.
Look to your eyes, no be lie, oh.
Alágbẹ̀dẹ tó mi lùrì lójú kan náà, olóhùn tó ń wá, olóhùn tó ń wá, ọ̀wọ̀wọ̀. Ojú tá mi àfọwọ́ bómi sí mi nìka. Ìgbà àìsàn owó dé, ọ̀rọ̀ tùnú rẹ̀ ló ń tu mí lọ́kàn. Bí mo bá rògùn, bí mo bá rọ̀ṣà, apá rẹ̀ ni mo dé sí. Ẹni láya rere lọ́ọ̀dẹ̀. Bí mo bá dárin ìkẹ́ yóò ẹ jọ̀wọ́, ẹ mọ̀ bá mi gbé. Àgbékẹ́ o, èyí fún jòwó. Àtúní o, ọmọlẹ́wà. Àjọkẹ́ o, èyí fún jòwó. Àlàkẹ́ o, ọmọlẹ́wà. This the vine that's flourish in my yard. Oh, even my life no go gel without you. Oh my love, please sail the ocean with me. Oh, alágbẹ̀dẹ tó mi lórí lójú kan náà, olóhùn tó ń wá, olóhùn tó ń wá. Ojú tá mi àfọwọ́ bómi sí mi nìka. Ìgbà àìsàn owó dé, ọ̀rọ̀ tùnú rẹ̀ ló ń tú mi lọ́kàn. Bí mo bá lọ́kùn, bí mo bá rọ̀ṣà, apá rẹ̀ ni mo dé sí. Ẹni láya rere lọ́ọ̀dẹ̀. Bí mo bá dárí ìkẹ́ yóò ẹ jọ̀wọ́, ẹ mọ̀ bá mi gbé. Àdùkẹ́ o, èyí fún jòwó. Àṣàbí o, ọmọlẹ́wà. Ọmọ táwọn o, èyí fún jòwó. Àmọ́ pé o, ọmọlẹ́wà.
If it's 8 o'clock in Western Africa, it's time for African Voices Radio, the David Adodo Show. African Voices Radio, the David Adodo Show is the voice of Africa, bringing you news, culture, Afrobeats, music, and much more. The gang is all here, and we are ready to bring you information that will empower you. So get ready. And now for our host, Prince Tunde Phillips.
Good evening, everybody. How you all doing? How's it going, Jason? How was your week?
It was okay, uneventful. Just trying to make it one day at a time. I always tell folks here in the great city of Baltimore.
That's great. As Jason rightly said, my name is Tunde Phillips. Welcome to another edition of the of our show, the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio. We're broadcasting to you live from Maryland in the United States. And on the show today, I have our Queen. Queen, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking gracious as always, as a queen.
Oh, thank you. That's how Queen live. That's the look of Queen everywhere.
She looks
How you
radiant.
doing?
She just looks radiant today,
I'm good.
doesn't she?
And most importantly, you beat the man to it today. You know, it's always a reverse, but you beat the man to it.
Trust me, anytime I'm on the show, I'm always coming early. You can give that to me, except if I'm not available.
I can say you beat the man to it. Miss Brother Charles is also here. We're going to be hearing his voice. He's in a very bad spot, so we're not going to be able to see his
yes.
but we can hear his voice.
Yeah. May the queen live longer.
Amen.
Amen. And you too. You guys are our king. We are your supporters.
Yes, may the queen live longer. I'm doing well. Thank you today. Thank you for having me. The king of the king. I'm doing very well. Just that I'm somewhere right now, so I just apologize that I can't zoom in. But I will be with you guys all the way.
That's good, Brother Charles. How's your week? How have you been? You doing okay?
So far, so good. Yes, things been very well. It's been a very good week. The weather is nice.
Okay.
So far, yes. Thank you.
So I don't understand what you're saying. You're somewhere we can't see you. Are you in space? Because people are going to space now.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, we are getting ready to take off with Mr. Bronson. So we're heading to the Spain, but the unfortunate thing is that it's only take 4 minutes. We'll be back.
Okay.
You know?
not 10 minutes this time around.
It's 4 minutes for $52 million.
Yes.
Just to go to the Spain and come back. So
yes.
I will be right back with you guys as soon as we hit the ground.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Brother Charles, how about you give me some of that money and I'll just drive you around the block a few times?
Exactly.
That's what I was saying to Mr. Bronson, man. I could not believe it. This man spent 10 minutes for $52 million.
Yes.
I guess when he's a billionaire, he said he's not going to take his money with him. So he might as well find a way to spend it on Earth.
Yes, it's not just the only one. Jeff Bezos did the same thing. You know, they both went up to space. I mean, it's their money. They can do whatever they want to do with their money. If they choose to go to space, fine. If they choose, but it's just that with a lot going on, we would think that, other things will be priority than for them to be spending so much money going to space. But I mean, everybody has the right to do what they want.
For 10, I think it's 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. It was 8 minutes. That's what it took them to go to the space and come back.
Anyway, to before we even talk about that, I think we have a guest. I'd like to chip in something when as regards the space thing that you just mentioned, Mr. T. I think we have one of our guests online already, so maybe we can introduce him so that we can,
Yes, our guest is muted for now. I'll go ahead and when I see, there you go. So he's unmuted now. Good. So, Queen, if you want to go ahead and introduce our guest to us.
Okay, we have Pastor Oluwaseun Aribilola. He's the coordinator of Ilana Omo in the US, and he's been doing a great job. We're glad to have you on the program today. Welcome to our program, David Adodo Show, Mr. Seun.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me here.
Good to see you, Pastor. Welcome to our show.
You're welcome.
Good to see you. So without much ado, we're just going to go ahead and kick off after we've done our usual greetings and everything. Welcoming everybody. Once again, it's the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio. You are welcome. So in the United States here, besides the fact that people are going to space and coming back, we also have in the news that the Delta variant of the coronavirus is spreading rapidly. It's spreading everywhere, especially amongst folks that have not been vaccinated. Even if you're vaccinated, there are certain breakthroughs. They call them breakthroughs. It's not as much, it's not as bad as for those that are not vaccinated. So please, we keep saying this on this program every week, get yourself vaccinated. give yourself a chance at life. Give your chances, a chance to live. The people that are infected, that are in the ICU and all that, they all come to the conclusion, but it's a little bit too late for them. If I knew, I would have gotten vaccinated. If I knew, I would have not played with it. I would have not joked with it. But then it's too late. You're already in the ICU. You're, that sick and that bad, and they cannot do anything. Please, I do not know, what. If you have questions, ask questions. There's nothing wrong in asking questions, but do not stay away from the vaccine. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. It saves lives. There are going to be side effects. Yes, we know that. Every medication has side effects. Tylenol has its side effects. Even a multivitamin you take has a side effect. But I rather live with the side effects than the opposite and die. When people advise you and tell you to go get the vaccine, all of a sudden people become either they become doctors suddenly or they become lawyers. It's my right. It's my body. Yes, it's your body. It's your right. But the way it affects me is that when you get it, I can get it. I choose life. I choose not to die. If you choose the other way, that should not affect me in any way. You see what we're saying? That's why we're employing and encouraging everybody to go out there, get this vaccine. Be your neighbor's keeper. Look out for each other. We're all vaccinated on this program, and nobody's acting strange and nobody's acting funny. So get vaccinated so that we can actually stamp out this coronavirus situation and get back to life, normally as life would be. So please, we implore you, like we always do in this show, please, please, please get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. It saves lives. It saves lives. Queen, do you want to send a message? You have something to say?
Well, first of all, Pastor, I hope you've gotten your own vaccination.
Sure.
If you don't have a vaccination, I'll go put on a mask right now, Pastor.
That we're online. We can't say what is going on right now is out there. The virus is, we have another phase that is just ravaging everywhere. So like we always say, Sunday has said it all, we encourage you to please go get some vaccine. It's very important. Some of the states have been announcing that they should go back in wearing masks. I started wearing masks. That's for the fact that I've gotten my vaccine. But go get some your mask, start wearing it so that, it's better to be safe, like you rightly said. And that will be for now.
Yes, you're right, Queen. Let's all get vaccinated and let's all, be healthy and go back to life like it's supposed to be. If this variant is spreading in the summer months, and this is a virus that is meant for the cold weather, you can imagine what it's going to be like in the winter. So we have to, get a hand of it, this virus right now before we get to the winter months, because it's going to be very devastating. And we all know what it was like the last time. And the intriguing thing about it, what I don't understand is there are health workers that do not want to get vaccinated. There are nurses and doctors that are protesting that they don't want the vaccine. I don't understand why they will be doing that. If I'm vaccinated and I come to you, you're a healthcare professional, I need care, and you are not vaccinated, how do I feel safe around you? How do I feel safe that, I'm not going to pick up something I didn't come in with? So it amazes me that the healthcare professionals, doctors and nurses, are protesting against the vaccine. These are the same people that were complaining that, please, too much people in the ICU, please, too much people in the hospital, please, too much people on this. Use your mask, get vaccinated. They do not want to get vaccinated. It's amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, things are going to change. Different belief. That's what I know. But right now, they know it's important. They have to get a vaccine. I find people go out to get vaccine. Because if you look at the population of America, a good number of people have gotten the vaccine. So let's continue to encourage them in our own little way on this program. And let's talk to people that we know that they've not taken their vaccine. Let's tell them the importance. The people that in the medical field that they know it's important to take it. Well, we can't say maybe that's a belief, but with time, I know everybody's going to get vaccinated. America is a great country, and we continue to encourage them. Governments will continue to encourage people. Of course, they are enjoying. If it's a third one, we know what it means. I think, everybody will be okay at the end of the day.
Yes, we'll all be okay when we all get vaccinated. I don't want to be infected by somebody that refused to get vaccinated. We have countries in this world that are seeking the vaccine and they don't have it. They are ready to put their arm out to get the vaccine. We are blessed to have numerous vaccines in this country. There's no reason why we should not get vaccinated. You know, that's just my point. And aside from that, we're also still...
Right.
Go ahead, Mr. Charles.
Yes, going back to this vaccine, only one thing that I really want to get people's attention to, okay? With all this, your conspiracy theory and whatever, the facts remains that look at the number before vaccination and the number after that vaccination. I mean, this is a simple, I don't know the kind of education you need. I don't know what proof people need, but this is a very simple data right there. Think about these numbers of people dying, getting infected before the vaccination and then after the vaccination. So vaccine works. That's no doubt. I don't know what people are waiting again. I don't know what proof they need. I don't know what, this is the very simplest way now to explain it. Because you put all this theology, this conspiracy and all this. It's so amazing that if you look at this survey that came out yesterday, Tunde, I don't know whether you saw that.
Yes.
45% of Republicans that have not gotten this vaccine say that they are going to skip it, that they are not going to get it.
Yes.
Then 35% of them think that maybe the way things are going now, they may change their mind. It's very mind-boggling that a lot of people are still believing in this conspiracy theory of everything against this vaccine.
Yes.
Pastor, since you're on the program, of course, we're not here to talk to you about vaccine, get vaccination. People have to go out and, among your peers, maybe where you work, or maybe as a pastor, maybe you're a pastor of a church. I don't know. I don't really know much about that. You know, are people against taking vaccine to get vaccinated?
Well, for me, I believe it is for everybody's good. Getting vaccinated, of course, like what my brother said just now, a lot of conspiracy theory around there. Some people said it was a means to reduce the population of Black people, this and all of that. And you have some religious, people. They also say, no, this is a sign of the beast and all of that. But the truth remains that vaccine will continue to come and go. New problem, new ailment, new disease, new pandemic, and all of that will always come. And then today, everybody, the children born here and all over the world, they get vaccinated. So this is not going to be a different case. I've seen people who, of course, in the beginning, they said, no, I'm not going to get vaccinated. But today, they are all doing it, There is no place to hide. What will kill you will always kill you. The Bible never told us that the mark of the beast will be an hidden thing, or you will be coerced to have it. It was clear that you will know about it. It's not going to be a hide and seek. So there is no two ways to it. Getting vaccinated is just the only way to go. And I don't think it should be something that we should trade or we should negotiate by anyone.
Thank you.
That's our thing. I've been vaccinated many months ago. And then the rest of people around me, they have also done that.
Yeah. Good. Thank you very much, Pastor, for your inputs. And, please continue to encourage people just like we do on this show as well. Well, Pastor is on this show for a reason. Pastor is the coordinator of Ilana Odua here in the United States. We're also expecting the national chairman, Professor Wale Adeniran, to also join us on the show eventually. So Prof is running a little bit late, and then as soon as he comes on, I will announce his arrival. So, however, we have Pastor here with us. So, Pastor, for our viewers and listeners that do not even know, what is Ilana Odua? What is it all about?
Yeah, the full name means Ilana Omo Odua.
Okay.
Of course, it's a Yoruba name or a Yoruba phrase. And Ilana simply means pathway for the descendants of Oduduwa. Oduduwa is our grandfather that we all know. When you say Odu, and that's why some people will say Oduduwa, some will say Yoruba. Sometimes people interchange the name Yoruba and Oduduwa. But Oduduwa is a person, Yoruba is a nation, So the Ilana Oduduwa started as Yoruba World Congress. But things are beautiful in their own local level. There are some things if you want to pronounce or you want to express, when you do it in your language, you capture all the efficacy of it, you enjoy it the more. Right. And that's why we enjoy, being identified with our identity. And that is why we have that now. So it was changed from Yoruba World Congress, which almost mean almost the same thing. And we are saying the pathway for the Omoluabis. Omoluabis are being referred to our Yoruba people that are well behaved. They are the people we call Omoluabi. And the Omoluabi, they are the Omo Oduduwa, because we are people with great values, great culture, and we want to be seen and identified with that throughout the world. So that is Ilana Omo Oduduwa.
Wow. So pretty much what it means is I have to be humble, I have to be well behaved, then I'm an Omo, and I'm a part of the group. So does it only consist of people from Yoruba, like if I'm from the north or from the east? Can I also be a member?
No. And that is why I did mention identity, Okay. And that is why an Hausa person will not tell you the meaning of Ilana, except if you have been part of us in Lagos or some part of the Southwest. So it is primarily, a family house for Yoruba sons and daughters all over the world.
Okay, Pastor, if you are talking about Ilana Omo Oduduwa, they changed the name from Yoruba World Congress. What is the motive behind Ilana Omo Oduduwa, aside from having Omoluabis and stuff like that? Do you have any other thing that the group is doing or they made up?
Yes. And that is why from the very first word, I say Ilana. By the time you say there is need for a pathway, it's like a direction. We discovered that we were great people, great nation before 1914. And if you date back 1470, you've seen Yoruba people in their various cities, well urbanized. And about 1,500 years ago, you will be talking about Yoruba, several kingdoms in the Yoruba land. And now to the recent time in 1914, when we were amalgamated to be part of Nigeria, and the whole thing started changing, instead of improvement, it started retrogressing. And by 1960, the marriage now brought in all manner of what we never represented. Mm-hmm. And that is why what we heard today is not what Yoruba used to be. And now a time came when we have to be conscious of who we are. So we were to trace back. We want to go back to our glorious nation. We want to go back to our prosperity. So there is there must be a path towards achieving that. And that is the essence of, formation of Ilana Omo Oduduwa. And it is like a clarion call for all Yoruba people all over the world. Let us come together and trace back our roots. The contraption we find ourselves in the name of being the family of Nigeria cannot sustain us. It will continue to overwhelm us, to overshadow our glory. And so we need to come back and trace our step to glorious path, so that majorly want to determine our going forward.
Please, can I quickly ask a question, Mr. T? Nigeria is just one nation. I'm a Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria, and it's such a beautiful country. And if you are now saying we need to trace our steps back, Why are we tracing ourselves back? Because we are all Nigeria that we believe in. Nigeria has produced so many people, great people in this nation, in this planet Earth. So why all of a sudden we are tracing ourselves to start thinking that we need to, move? I mean, I'm trying to put it together. Are we trying to, or Yoruba people are trying to move out of the country called Nigeria, and why?
Thank you very much for that question. But I must tell you, it is a misnomer to refer to Nigeria as a nation. The configuration that is made up of Nigeria is an accumulated and joined together of several nations. Even in Igbo land alone, you have several nations. Even within the Yoruba has several nations inside Yoruba. And in Yoruba land, what is nation? The meaning of nation can best express in Yoruba language. Yoruba call it Orile-Ede. In that, you have two factors that are very key, that are very important, that were joined together before a nation can be referred to as one nation. One thing that is common is the language, and another thing is the land. When they have a geographical land that join them together and they speak common language, that makes a nation. So when you look at the configuration you have in Nigeria, you will discover that there are several borderlands, several languages. For example, where I came from, the Ijesha people, they have their land, they have their language. But there are similarities in all Yoruba language, from Yoruba land in Nigeria to Brazil to Togo to Benin to every other places. And that is why you can also still refer to them as a great nation. So, and I beg to challenge that point, that Nigeria is just a nation. It is not. It's a multiple, it combines so many nations in that country.
So why all of a sudden, is it because of what is happening now? Why are Yoruba trying to move out of Nigeria right now? What led to it? Led to the mistake of,
Yeah, of course, several things led to it. Life should be going forward. Life should be on improvement. And that is why sometimes if you're in a business relationship or you're in a family relationship like a marriage, and you discover that you are getting worse off in economies, we believe that the only best and better improved position should be Pareto. But when it is not Pareto, instead of moving forward, and you were being dragged down, days back in the early 50s, you will you recall that Nigeria before, even when it became Nigeria, but when people were running their regional government, when you still have an identity as a region, you will discover that there are many things you can remember. Is it in terms of education? Or is it in terms of the produce, where you have your comparative advantage, like the Southwest will always be best producer of cocoa there. And with cocoa, you can imagine what were made out of it. The same way you go to the East, you discover their production of palm oil did so much transformation, so much development. But what is it today? You can mention so many things. But, it's been retrogressing. It's been backwardness. At some point, you're trying to look for what exactly is the problem. Several attempts to see what can be profiled as solution. But they will never resolve that. You see all manner of trying to bring up economic policy from south to this one to that one. And by the time we also realize that what is going on, you're trying to, do we need to restructure the economy? Do we need to restructure our political system? Several attempts to do all of this until we find out that, there was a motive, and a deliberate motive by the political class that are ruling Nigeria to go into certain ethnic cleansing, considering a particular ethnic in that Nigeria as superior to others. And they did not just stop on grabbing all the political position, occupying all the MDAs, but they also went ahead claiming lives. You will recall that Nigeria, Yoruba people, they are loving people, very accommodating people. You go anywhere, they see you as one of them. The Fulani, the nomadic people, the herders, will always come there with just one staff in their hand. They are friend of the farmer, friend of everywhere. We live together and all of that. But all of a sudden, we began to hear of kidnapping, raping, miming, and all of that. And at some point, you know, they were exposed. Their real agenda was exposed to claim the soil of other people's land in our ancestral land, our God-given land. And they have decided that they are going to overrun us with other tribes and ethnics in Nigeria that are not the Fulani. It is at that point we realize that, oh, we need to love. We need to defend ourselves. We need to take our nations, you know, we need to take back our globe. That is a little I can say about the background to that.
Yes, Pastor. Yes, Mr. Charles, were you going to say something?
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Charles. I can wait.
Yeah, Pastor. I think the question that Quinn asked was a very good one. I know that in this show, we've always believed and have that feelings that it might be a good thing for Nigeria to split. But we look at it again. At what cost can we go for this to happen? What do you think? Do we have a better chance of restructuring, decentralizing everything than splitting? What do you think from your own point of view, now being in the front of all this? What do you think that would be more acceptable to the society today? Either splitting or restructuring?
Very good. I don't want to use the word splitting, secession, even if it's at the end of the day meant that. But I will be choosing my word by using the word between restructuring and self-determination. The acts that joined all of us together in 1914, of course, has an expiry date of 100 years, and which means by 2014, it was 100 years. And in that document, there was no any clause that says it's renewable. The only thing we can do is to come back to the round table and determine our living together. Do we want to go our separate way? Do we want to continue to live as one country? But, you know, that was not done. And when you now take the word restructuring, you will remember that this same restructuring, like against the background that I told you, why we have decided to self-determine our living, our survival as a nation, the restructuring will have been good if willingly the government of the land, and I will give us an example. In 2014, you remember the national conference. You know, people were gathered headers all over the land to say, okay, let us discuss this. There are problems. And it was turned down. Several attempts after that. You see, when somebody, if we are in the relationship, even if it is business relationship, and the only way you want to come to table is when you don't have a choice again, you might probably not doing it willingly or in your good spirit. That's number one. Number two, history has taught us so much lesson that we knew even when the configuration started and things will have gone smoothly. But okay, I think Prof is here.
Yes, I wanted you to finish your points before I welcome Professor Adeniran Adewale to our midst. Prof is here. Prof,
good evening. Please pardon me for arriving late. I was at a very, very important meeting. I'm very sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. As long as you pardon me that I don't owe you any homework. I don't think I owe you any assignment, because there are some professors that I owe assignments. They always asking me for assignments.
Yeah.
It's good to have you, Professor. To have you, Prof. Yeah. Welcome to our show. We appreciate your presence here.
Thank you very much.
And then we also have the United States Ilanomo Odua coordinator with us. He was making a point as you came in. Mr. Sheung Aribilola is also with us. So, Mr. Aribilola, we have the national chairman here. We have Prof here. So, I would like for you to continue with, unless you are done with the point you were making before I yield to Prof.
Prof, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Yes, nice to see you. Please go on.
Okay, sir. So the question that was put before us was why the choice for self-determination and not restructure. And it was actually presented as cessation, and I said it is not cessation. And I was choosing my word between restructuring and self-determination. And I just said, if all of us we are in the country, we've been following the trend of what has been going on for some year. And up to almost around this time last year, we were still on the negotiating table trying to see if the government of the land, is sensitive enough to do things otherwise. But as we have it today, it was revealed to us that there was an ulterior motive, an agenda to cleanse other tribes and other nations in the country beyond, solving a political issue. So it was never a political issue. It was even never a problem of leadership, but it's a problem, is an issue that has to do with a decision by certain small class, certain ethnic, the Fulani, to overrun the nation, to overrun other tribes and ethnics in Nigeria. And that is why we have said in our own homeland, we can determine, and based on the background that I gave us, there is nothing that is joining us that cannot be splitted. The amalgamation expired. The constitution that they have been using to govern us, we have disputed it because it never represented anyone. And that is 1999 Constitution. When you look at this, because you cannot build on nothing, especially the Constitution. And since they were not ready to make amendment on this, apparently the only way out is self-determination. And when we started it, a lot of people were agitating, a lot of people were challenging that status quo. But today, all of us, everybody, even throughout the world, they can now see that, oh no, the only reasonable way we can continue to live in our own land is to determine our own country, is to get out of the contraption called Nigeria. So that is the only option we have. We don't even have the second option. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pastor Lucian. Thank you so much for your response. I want to yield to Prof, since Prof has joined us. Prof is joining us verbally. We cannot see Prof's. Could be due to the connection. We know that connections are always very challenging coming from back home. So, Prof, Pastor has explained to us what it is that we are agitating for. That are we going to? Is it a problem of leadership? Like maybe if somebody else was sitting in Aso Rock, we will not be talking about, leaving Nigeria. Is it the problem of the individual, or it's a problem of a group of individuals that just want to continue to take advantage and rule over others in Nigeria?
Well, the problem with Nigeria has historical antecedents. It's a polity that was badly constructed right from start. When the northern and southern provinces were brought together, they were not brought together on the basis of certain commonalities. No. The British forced us together because the resources of the south were needed to make the government of the north function. So that was the basis to start with. That was the British colonial government policy. It was deliberate. I don't know how many of you have read Barrister Asemota's write-up,
Yes.
The Southern Lady Queens.
Yes, I
You see,
read it.
it was.
Yeah. Prof, can you hear us?
The service.
Prof, can you hear us?
So that was it right from beginning.
Yes.
The service is fluctuating.
Yes, I think we're losing. He's going in and out. But I think the point the prof was trying to make is that the commerce and the commerce in the south was thriving a lot, and so the British felt that, well, for them to live together, we will have to use the commerce from the south to develop the north. Maybe that is the reason why the oil wells are in the delta and the refinery is in the north, because it doesn't make any sense to me. You now have to lay pipelines all the way from Delta State, all the way to the north. Delta people have land where you can build refinery and take care of all the business right there. And then if you also look at certain infrastructures and things in there, you have the Defense Academy over there in the north. You have the Naval School in the north.
In the north.
All those things in the north. So I think that is what is propelling this agitation that, look, we have to get out of this contraption called Nigeria, that, it is not fair to everybody 100%, and which is true. Anybody will feel like that. You can imagine two children from the same womb. You as a parent, you have to be careful how you deal with each one, so one does not think that you like one and hate the other one. So when you are a leader of a country, you have to be patriotic. You cannot be only favor your people or where you come from and neglect others. No, especially if your area is being sustained by the revenue coming from those other areas. I do not know if we have Prof. Do we have you back?
Hello, Prof. I think
Prof is not back with us.
Yeah, we haven't bad connection, Kotonu.
the
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, Prof, he's muted as well. Prof, you're
Yes.
muted. So if you can unmute yourself when you come back. So, however, this is my question to Pastor is this.
Okay.
I know
Prof
this.
is back.
I know we've been clamoring.
I think Chief is back.
Oh,
Chief.
Prof is back. Prof, are you there, sir?
Prof, are you back?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, go
Now-
ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Now, but strangely, from that moment,
Yes.
the ruling elite of the North developed what we can call this sense of ownership, that they own Nigeria. And the British made them believe that. And if you read Ahmadu Bello's biography, it's all there. And then the interview he granted, I think in 1964 or 1959, saying that God has given them this country called Nigeria as an inheritance, and that they will hold on to it by all means. And then from then on, well, of course, there was a 1966 coup. So up to 1966, where we could say that there was a measure of freedom, because there was regional autonomy. Each federative unit was developing at its own pace. But then the 1966 coup that dealt a death blow to this. And since then, things have been going from bad to worse. So instead of federalism, we now have centralization. And with that centralization, what it means is total control by a certain section of the country. Take education. A southern child who scores less than 80% cannot get admitted into a so-called unity school. Whereas a northern child who scores 15% has his space reserved and cannot be taken. Then that goes on to university admission. A southern candidate wants to read law. He scores 240, 250. He cannot read law. But a candidate from the north scores 120 or even 80. He is admitted to read law. And so you have injustice, inequality. I mean, unfairness already embedded in the system. And like I said, things have been going from bad to worse. Now, we now got to a situation where jobs are not being created. It's southern children that go to school, they come out with a first degree, they can't get employment. They have to go back for a master's degree. They finish, they can't get employment. Some even go on and do a PhD and they can't get employment. And the central government is not bothered. They have centralized everything, they have cornered everything, and they are extremely insensitive to what is happening to other parts of the country. And our youth have been forced into crimes and criminality. Our ladies, I mean, they cannot get married. Our young men cannot get married at 30, 35, because they have no job and they are qualified. So these are all the things now that we have looked at, and we say, look, it appears we do not have the same value system. The value system in the South is completely different from the value system in the North. Now, we value education. We place a lot of premium on education. But if a child has been educated, the natural thing is he must be able to secure employment. But they don't bother to send their children to school. I remember what Mrs. Jonathan used to say. It appears their own is born throwaway. You have so many almajiris. They don't bother to, provide the educational infrastructure. And it's part of what is now responsible for this social insecurity. Now, is this what we are going to be battling with for the rest of our lives? And is this what we are going to hand over to our children and children's children? So, and we felt the best thing is let us separate. Let us separate peacefully so that we can develop at our own pace and make provision for our own youth. So if they don't want to make any provision for their own youth, that's their own problem. But they cannot tie us down. They cannot say, because they do not want development. They do not want modernity, because they are pre-modern. They are not bothered about modernity. So they cannot tie us down. We want development. We want to modernize. We want to compete with the rest of the world. We have the manpower. They've got the brains. Wherever they go in the world, they distinguish themselves. But they are driven away from home. We want them back home. We want them to come and develop the homeland. We don't have to keep running away. So these are the reasons why we said, look, the best thing is let's move back. Let each person go and take care of their own homes the way they know best. So that's it. In summary. In summary, that's it. And if I may go further, am I still being heard?
Yes, we're listening.
Yes.
Look at the 1999 Constitution, which is a fraudulent document. Look at all the items. Out of about 98, about 68 or so are under exclusive. Yeah, federal, exclusive legislative list. And then the 38 or so that are said to be concurrent, there's a provision that whenever there's a clash between the federal and the state, the federal takes precedence. So in essence, all the items are under the federal government. And this is why governors are not able to create employment in their states. This is why they are not able to industrialize their states. This is why they have to keep going to Abuja cap in hand to go and beg for monthly stipends. Oh, no country, no state develops under this circumstance. It's not possible. Let's develop our own resources and let's use those resources for ourselves. If we have to pay a certain percentage to the center, we do so. That was what obtained at independence up to 1966. Each region developed their own resources and only paid a certain percentage to the center. But now, the center has captured everything. Everything. Now, let me give you an illustration with a university that I'm very familiar with, Obafemi Awolowo University. Now, at Obafemi Awolowo University, today, you cannot employ a clerk unless you obtain permission, approval from which. How ridiculous. How ridiculous.
I just wanted to repeat what you just said because the line was distorted. You had just said that you cannot hire a clerk without approval from Abuja, which is the Federal Capital Territory, meaning that you need somebody to approve you to hire someone, to hire a clerk. Are you back with us, Prof? Hello, Prof. Are you still with us?
It was you know,
yes.
That he can't even walk around.
Hello, Prof. We're having a connectivity issue. It keeps going in and out. Prof, are you back?
Yes.
Now, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Now,
ahead,
in terms of budget,
yes.
In terms of budget, now a university like Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife,
yes,
is given capital project budget of 34 million naira for a year. A university in the north of about the same age is given about 400 million. Can you see the disparity?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one wonders, what is going on? We cannot go on this way. It's not possible. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. You cannot be depriving universities from my zone of resources, and you are plowing resources into a university in your zone. I mean, what does it translate into? Unfair treatment, injustice, inequality. We cannot go on this way. It's not possible. And that's why we have said, look, there is a Yoruba saying, rather than the lion being made to hunt for the tiger, let each animal, hunt on their own and survive on what they're able to get. So don't start robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that's the system on which Nigeria is built today. It's a matter of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it has reached a stage where we are now saying, we have had enough of this. We are not taking it anymore. You take all the resources, the revenue generated at the ports in the south, you take them up north, the VAT and everything, and you leave us pauperized. It's not going to work. And not only that, let me point out another thing. About 12 states, the 12 northern states, seceded from Nigeria as far back as 2002.
Wow. How do you mean?
Okay. Now, Nigeria is meant to be a secular state. That is, there must be no recognition of state religion. But by 2002, the 12 northern states now recognized Sharia and incorporated Sharia and upgraded Sharia into a state religion. That was already self-determination. They had already, broken away. But we are fighting shy of recognizing this fact, and we have to recognize it. They followed up by getting us into the Organization of Islamic Conference. Nigeria is meant to be a secular state because it is multi-religious. No religion must be recognized as a state religion. And that's what, and then they went on and formed Hizbah, which can even arrest Nigerian police. They are so powerful, they can arrest Nigerian police. That's one. Then, when you take alcohol up there, it is trailer load alcohol is being shared. So, too many things. So the logical conclusion is, if we are going to avoid a violent reaction, the best thing is for us to just agree right now that we separate. And separating doesn't mean that we are going to be hostile to each other. We can separate and maintain friendly relations. The countries that emerge can have friendly relations. You have Yoruba Nation, you have Lower Niger, you have Biafra, you have Middle Belt. I even understand that Akwa Ibom has gone to submit a petition at the United Nations. Yeah, there are countries in Europe that are not more than maybe 4 million, 5 million. So that's no big deal. If we can have 6, 7, 8 countries out of Nigeria, the resources are there. And these days, it's not even resources that determine development. It's the development of the minds of the human beings.
Yes.
You develop your population through education, research. There are countries that have no resources. What has Japan got? Japan is a world power. What mineral resources has Sweden got? It's a leading country when it comes to science and technology. So, if we plow our resources into developing the minds of our youths, into educating them, into giving them the best of education, that is even more valuable resource than petroleum, than gas, than cocoa, and what have you. So, and this is what we are interested in. We want to develop the minds of our youths. We want to create jobs for them. As he said, an idle hand is the devil's workshop. And we have been saying that. That's why we have so many of our youths now engaging in what do you call it? This electronic cyber fraud. Yahoo. And these are some of the brightest minds. Very, very intelligent youngsters I've come across them at UI, at IFE. They are world class, but they are denied opportunities. And therefore, they find a way of surviving, which, yes, is outside of the law. But what has the state provided for them? Nothing. So, and this is why we say, look here, what is called Nigeria has become a pre-modern society. It's anti-development. We no longer want to be part of this. We want to move forward. We believe we have a contribution to make to world development. We can contribute to world civilization. Therefore, we want to develop the minds of our youngsters and equip them to make substantial contribution to world civilization. I mean, at the risk of sounding boastful, we produce a Nobel laureate in literature. We have potential laureates in medicine, in the sciences, in technology. But when you start education of funds, about a month ago, General Buhari was saying he hasn't got money for education. I don't know if you heard that.
Yes.
General Buhari actually said that he has got no money for the revival of education. Now, is anybody going to ask me? Tell me, to allow my people to get stuck in that kind of morass? In our part of the world, we sacrifice to educate our youngsters.
Yes.
Parents sell what they get, what they got. They borrow money. They do everything legitimate to provide education for their children. And then a man who is supposed to be in charge of it is saying he hasn't got money to revive education. The system has collapsed. There is no hope of reviving them. So, for goodness sake, let's just pull back. Those who want to remain in the pre-modern society can remain in the pre-modern society. But those of us that want to move with the world, oh, by goodness sake, should be allowed to move with the rest of the world. Thank you. I stop there for now.
Thank you so much, Prof, for your lengthy explanation. It seemed like you just summarized everything, including what Pastor has told us earlier. Thank you so much. While you were talking, Mr. David Adodo also joined us on the show. So I wanted to recognize his presence. Mr. Adodo, welcome to the show. On the show today, we have Professor Adeniran, and we also have Pastor Oluwaseun on the show as well. And so these are, the Prof is the national chairman of Omo Ilana Odua, and of course the pastor is the United States coordinator for the same organization. So welcome, Mr. Adodo.
Thank you so much, Tunde. Thank you, Prof, and thank you, Pastor. We have the double P's. And
thank you very much. Thank you.
And I saw Queen also. So how are you all doing, everybody? Is Charlie here?
Yes, Charles is here. He keeps going in and out. I think he has.
You don't want me to say something. Just coming. But Professor, please pardon him.
Yeah. Please go right ahead.
I've not said anything for the Prof to pardon me. Yes, Tunde, if I may contribute to what the Prof has been saying.
Yes.
You know how I feel about what is going on in Nigeria. But sometimes I ask myself, we once had a president from the Southwest in the person of President Obasanjo. And we also had one from South in the person of Goodluck Jonathan. Yeah, what we are asking Buhari to do now, why didn't the president from the Southwest and the South, why didn't we put pressure on them to do these things? Buhari is here.
All right.
We know the kind of a human being that he is. These people have been waiting for this opportunity. When Obasanjo was there, he was contesting to be president. He couldn't make it. When Goodluck Jonathan was there, he tried and he was successful with the help of Tinubu, Asiwaju, and some of us knew that we knew his antecedents. We knew that when he's able to come into office, he is going to do these things that we are seeing right now. So I don't know why the presidents we had this from the Southwest and the South, why they didn't implement all these things prior to his coming. This man has been there for 6 years. Hello?
Yes, right.
Yeah. This man has been there for 6 years. We have, Navy, the Navy University in the north. We have Air Force University in the north. We have the Army. We also have the police is there already. We have rail, something like that, also in the north. All these institutions are all in the north. What this man has been establishing, all these institutions are establishing, are all in the north. Some few weeks ago, 44 recruits of the Navy were said to be all Northerners. We're all Northerners. All the security personnel, down to the fire service, they are all Northerners. How are we going to change these things? Because when you appoint a minister, one minister, and that minister has, he can appoint as many people as possible under him. So you can imagine when all these Northerners, all these ministers that are Northerners, Fulanis, how many Fulanis they must have employed in the Nigerian system. So, and like this president is grooming, grooming the Northerners to perpetually take positions, higher positions, to the detriment of the Southerners.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to look at this thing critically and say, sometimes we have to blame ourselves. We had the opportunity to have a president from the Southwest. I don't know how many things Obasanjo did for Southwest. I don't know. We had one from the South.
Yes, Prof, you want to respond to
I don't know what
Mr. Adodo is making.
Yeah. Yes. You see, my brother, is any non-northern president in Nigeria is captive. It is a captive president. You see, things have been so structured that any northern president at the mercy of the north. What do I mean? Look at the south. In terms of representation at the National Assembly, they through without the support of the South. There is nothing that the South wants that they can push through on their own without the North. That needs to be corrected. The federative units must have equal representation in legislature. So, whether it's Obasanjo, so they are power. So even though they are president, they have to pander. They still have to pander to the North. But they take the bill to the National Assembly, it can be defeated. If the North feels such a bill is not in their interest. Okay, look at the water resources bill that's been taken now again, which is not in the interest of the South. If care is not taken, all northern legislators will rally around and support that bill and pass it into law, in spite of the presence of the southern legislators. Because already, and like I said, if you look at the Constitution, power is already skewed in favor of the North. So that's why somebody like Buhari can come on the stage and take decisions and take actions like calling the bluff of the rest of the country. Like, he doesn't need the rest of the country. Cite all the security institutions in the North to the exclusion of the South. And then, unfortunately, our own people have now developed what I call slave mentality. Like, without the North, there isn't much I can do.
Prof.
Let me give you an illustration again. When in terms of this slave mentality, when Akeredolu said the herdsmen occupying the forests of Ondo State should move out, the presidency and the Northerners and all of them started raving against Akeredolu. Now, early this week, the emir of is it Mubi or Muri in Taraba has issued a similar order saying the herdsmen occupying the forests of Taraba, he has given them 30 days within which to move out. That's the traditional ruler. And that at the end of the 30 days, he will employ all means available to chase them out of the forests. How many of the traditional rulers in the South have the audacity to make that kind of statement?
Professor.
I don't know what is wrong with that. That's why I say our people have developed a slave mentality. Now we have to challenge. We should have challenged all these things. We should have challenged the system that allows power to be skewed in favor of the North. When you have power, you become confident and sometimes overconfident. And of course, all this is with the active support of the British. Because it was the British ab initio that handed over power to the Fulani and told them, don't worry, we are with you. We will always make sure that you hold on to power. And they've since then held on to power, and they have been using it with reckless abandon. But instead of we challenging, we have not been challenging the way we should challenge.
Professor, if I may come in.
Mr. Adodo, hold on. Let the Prof finish making
when the northern states declared Sharia, Obasanjo was president. What did he do? He simply looked away and pretended it wasn't a problem. But now it has blown. And there's hardly anything anybody in the South can do about it. So, and they are not going to allow that system to change. They are not going to surrender.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Mr. Adodo, you wanted to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is this. It is not about the North, nor about the South, the way I look at it. Obasanjo was a military head of state. Everybody knows how strong Obasanjo was when he was in the military and how he was when he was president. If you don't make things happen, nothing will happen. You understand? Politics is negotiation. Politics is about negotiation. It's about compromise. Obasanjo could have been able to make some changes. Obasanjo could have made some changes. He didn't make those changes.
Yes.
Let us be realistic.
Yes, you're right.
Understand?
That's true.
We are talking about power being concentrated in the central. Obasanjo was in the central. We are talking about the the president of Nigeria is the most powerful president in the world. Obasanjo was in that position.
Yes.
You understand? He has the instrument of power. He has the army, the police. Because he was in the system, he was in the army. You understand? And he had some strong retired army officers who were with him. He could have been able to negotiate some of these things. Obasanjo didn't do that. Good luck came. Good luck didn't do that. They were all working for the North.
Yes.
That is mean that as I am right now, if I'm the president of Nigeria, I will change certain things. What is when you have the instrument of power? There is nothing you cannot. If you are the president of Nigeria and you refuse to use your power, that is your problem. Buhari is using what is Buhari doing? Is using the instrument of power that is already in the constitution. The North will tell you this is the constitution. It is already there. So Obasanjo didn't use the constitution to his advantage. Neither did Jonathan. It pains me that we had opportunity, we misused that opportunity. Look at the way we are being treated right now. When we had our chances, the way things are going right now, I doubt it if the North are going to hand over power to the South. With the way things are going right now, there are no indices.
They are not likely to.
They are not likely to. Nothing is.
They are not likely.
Yes, nothing is showing that they are ready to. Right now, you make any noise, they clamp down on you. They have the police that will clamp down. Even protesters cannot even protest. So what makes you think that 2023 they will hand over power? What are you going to do? Police will be on the streets. Army will be on the streets. They shoot when they killed 100 people. What are you going to do? Nothing. So Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan, they screwed up. Let us be realistic to ourselves. They screwed up big time. We had that opportunity and we didn't utilize it. And this man came. He's doing anything that he wants to do. Even Obasanjo cannot speak.
Yeah.
Jonathan cannot speak. What are we talking about?
No.
We should blame ourselves. In my view.
Yes, Queen, you raised your hand. You wanted to say something.
I have a question for the professor and another question for Pastor. Prof, I want to know this agitation, what brought about it? Because I saw you really explain so many things from, that the fact that the British handed over power to the northern people. We've been living like that for several years.
Yes.
Yes.
What led to this agitation? Was it because of the killings of innocent people by all these herdsmen? Because I believe initially you were not asking for Nigeria to split or Yoruba nation. You guys were asking for referendum. Then over the time, it now changed to Yoruba nation. Was it because of the kidnapping and the unrest that is going on in Nigeria? That's number one. Number two, do the agitators, do they have the support of our elites in Yoruba land? Then my question to Pastor, hello, sir. Hello, Prof.
Go on.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Go ahead, Queen.
Yeah, I think you are trying to ask what has led to the agitation for self-determination now.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, for years, the agitation had been for restructuring. That is, restoring the
We're losing him again.
Okay, maybe
federal system that we used to have. That was going on, and it was being ignored. Of Fulani herdsmen carrying AK-47 emerged, and before you knew what was happening, killings started, and killings became the order of the day. We then came to realization of them, and of course, so many other things: kidnappings, rape, and all of it. Then we came to the realization of the fact that some people had invaded our territory with the intention of conquest and appropriation of our land. And they did say it, that the land being occupied by the indigenous people
services.
Yeah, I think we're losing Prof again.
Mm-hmm.
Prof, are you back? He's back.
He's back?
Yeah, he was
of Nigeria into them. And they had now arrived, they were prepared to kill, doing exactly that. So we then came to the realization of the fact that, look, this problem is not a problem that can be resolved by restructuring. Because restructuring will not keep the violent herdsmen from encroaching on our territory. They have said they had come to conquer and to seize the land. So restructuring can't take care of that. So we realize the only thing that can take care of that was for us, to and only allow in those who can make peaceful, who can
Oh wow.
live peacefully with us and make your kind of restructuring is adopted today. If we not keep these violent herdsmen, these violent Fulani terrorists, it will keep them away from various parts of the country. They've taken over the forests of most of the states in the south, and they are confidently going about claiming ownership. And for as long as we remain as we are, it can only get worse. There cannot be. Because they are very clear in their minds about it. We may say we don't hear what they are saying. We may be pretending we don't understand what they are doing. But I think today, more and more people are now waking up to the reality that we are being enslaved in our homes, and we are now being slaughtered like animals. Restructuring cannot take care of this. It is only self-determination, which will result in our having our own sovereign, independent, autonomous countries that can solve this.
How do you plan to achieve this?
Well, nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. But we are exploiting the provisions of the 2007 declaration, United Nations declaration, that guarantees self-determination to any group that desires it. And the conditions are very clear. You must be able to delimit the land that belongs to you as a group.
services.
You must be able to demonstrate the fact that you see ethnic group, you have a common ancestry, and you are willing to live together in a separate country. No, go and look at the 2007 United Nations Declaration on the rights of indigenous peoples to self-determination. Is there. It is also enshrined in the African Charter. The African Charter on Human Rights. Some time ago, at the United Nations, was it not 2015, General Buhari spoke in favor of self-determination when he was talking about the Palestinians and some other groups. He was making a case for self-determination for these groups. And he did say at that time also that he will not oppose any ethnic group demanding
Yes, we keep losing the prof. There's a technical issue. It's very little we can do about it. You know,
self-determination in Nigeria provided, and this is what has been the leadership of Professor Banja, that our agitation, and it goes on.
Oh boy, I think we lost him again. So
I have a question.
Code of ethics. Do not destroy property. Conduct yourself in the most civil manner possible.
Yes.
Be law abiding, but keep shouting self-determination. And this is what has been going on.
Okay.
If you recall, the rallies we've had in the Southwest have been very, very peaceful.
Peaceful, right.
In spite of the teeming masses that came out. The biggest, the hugest was the one of Ekiti State. When we started in Oyo, we thought, oh my goodness, this was huge. It was even bigger than Ibadan. Then we went on to Osogbo. It was bigger than Abeokuta. Then we went to Akure. It was even bigger. Then we got to Ado-Ekiti. My goodness. The streets could not hold the crowd.
Prof, I need to
Lagos.
Prof.
Whatever violence occurred in Lagos,
Queen, allow him to
as a result of the action of the security forces.
It's not.
So, peaceful means, and of course, as time goes on, we are going to internationalize our demand. We take our demand to the United Nations. We call for a referendum. The United Nations will come and conduct a referendum. And once the majority say they want an autonomous country, there's nothing Nigeria can do.
Yes, Prof. So,
like
Prof,
I said,
we must go
about it.
Yes, Prof.
We must go about it in the way that our leader, Professor Akintoye, has mapped out. In the most peaceful manner. Because the world is watching. The world is looking at us.
Yes. So I wanted to...
I need to find that if
Prof,
they are persuaded...
Prof, you can give me a second here. I wanted to bring Queen in. She said she had one more...
Am I still on?
Yes, you're still...
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Queen says she has one more question.
So, of course, naturally...
challenged by time, so we have
we acquiesce to our request that we want a referendum conducted in our zone. And, of course, before then, we must prepare our constitution. We must prepare a map of the land we occupy. We must be able to demonstrate that and to prove that we have always occupied this land for ages.
Yes, Prof.
And that we have not included amongst us those who do not want to come along with us.
Correct. So,
yes, Prof,
can you hear me?
Prof, I have a question for you based on what you just said now.
Yes.
I want to ask a question based on the rallies that were held all over the southern states in Nigeria, which in a way has landed Chief Sunday to a problem now. because the governments are saying this as a threat, and right now they're looking for the guy. It was God that saved him; they will have killed him. Right now, they levy different allegations on him. Could it be this thing that is causing this thing that government doesn't want this agitation to succeed? So why are they looking for Chief Sunday Igboho?
Please, can you come again? The volume is low here.
Oh, okay. I want to know, was it because of the rallies that were held in the Southwest for Yoruba Nation, which was headed mainly by Chief Sunday Igboho? Is that what led him to this trouble with the federal government right now, that they're looking for him to prosecute him?
Well, you know, the federal government has decided to demonize the leaders of the agitation for Yoruba Nation. You know, when it came to a head in January, and people in Ibarapa zone were being slaughtered by the Fulani herdsmen, it was Sunday Igboho that championed the defense of the people of that zone. And naturally, we must admit, he emboldened others. People now felt they could defend themselves. But we went on and said, look, don't let's engage in
services
violence. Let's just carry for the public, and let's see the extent to which the people will support us. And of course, when the federal government saw that this
we're losing the prof.
Yes.
Agitation had become a mass, we knew they would be scared. But what we expected from them was a civilized response and negotiate. Look, can we still negotiate?
Well, I think maybe I should quickly ask Pastor.
I wanted to give an opportunity.
Yeah. So definitely.
Charles.
Oh, Mr. Charles.
Mr. Charles, are you there?
I'm here, Tunde. Thank you very much.
I need to say something. You said you had a question earlier.
Yeah, the problem about that is, you know, I wanted to ask the professor a question, but you see, he's, you know, even if when he answers the question, I mean, the connection from is that code to know from Nigeria is not really good. So
if he could move around a little bit, it may help.
Oh, see, okay. So I don't know if we can just continue to have him to talk. I mean, if we continue to buy these questions, you know, he's not. We're not getting clear connection from him. So
he may just need to move around. If he could move around a little bit, it may help.
Some of these questions that we have, if we're not receiving very good feedback from
you know, he's been answering, but we're not.
Can I just finish up what I was?
Okay.
Yes, Prof.
Prof is back.
I think he's back.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Prof. You were rounding up.
I mean, naturally, Sunday Igboho became a leading participant in these rallies. And of course, the people were always happy to see.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So,
given his exploit, they called him. But the mistake the federal government is making, the agitation is not centered around the Igboho strictly. Like I said, Ilana Omodudua is at the forefront of this agitation under the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye.
A Prof is gone.
Who has been given a very, very intelligent
language is very
approach. But you know, the attitude the attitude of the Fulani is to always control, and if they feel they cannot control, to kill. I mean, that's the truth.
Yes,
to eliminate.
Yes. So I wanted to also.
So that.
Can you hear me, Prof?
So that explains their response to Igbo. Like I said, what one expected was civilized response. There were some other actions that we took. We declared a constitutional dispute with
the service is really bad.
Federal government. We expected them to invite. Up to now, they have not responded. It's a fraud.
Yes, Prof, can you hear me?
But instead of doing that, what they are now trying to do is kill. I'm sure you read the statement put out by Femi Adeniran saying that kidnappers all deserve to be sent back to God to go and answer for their crimes, which is euphemism for saying that agitators for self-determination are going to be killed. And that's what they've been trying to do to Igbo. Simple. And they are ready to do it to any of us.
Yes.
If we don't move out of their way. But
yes,
they cannot succeed. They cannot succeed. Because we will keep employing our intellectual prowess to challenge them, to fight them, to expose them until we get what we want. We will get it. We will get
Prof. The only one, I don't know if you can hear me very well. I have one quick question for you before we move on, because we are very challenged with time. I just wanted you to give our viewers and our listeners the present situation with Chief Igboho, because there was something circulating in the media that he boarded a plane and is in Germany, and then 24 hours later we heard that he's still in Cotonou and all that, you know. So what right now is I understand that he's in Cotonou, there's a court case going on and all that. What right now is the current or the status of Chief Igboho in Cotonou?
Well, it's been charged to court, but the federal government of Nigeria has not been able to bring charges against him. What they have come up with are mere allegations of gun running, causing social disturbance, and trying to break up the country. Now, these charges do not hold water. Nobody can be extradited from one country to the other on the basis of these allegations. So he has appeared in court. His wife has been set free. Her passport has been returned to her. Now, Igboho will be appearing in court on Monday. And we are confident that he's going to win that case.
Okay.
Because he has never been violent. He's not a criminal. No criminal charges have ever been brought against him. If anything, it's the federal government that went to attack him in the middle of the night, destroying his property, and ended up killing 2 of the occupants of the house, which was a kind of terrorist attack on its own, a criminal act. Igboho didn't kill any of them. He didn't fight back. And like I said, there is no criminal charge against him anywhere in the world. So we are confident that he's going to win the case.
Okay. All right.
And he will then continue his journey to whichever part of the country he chooses.
Okay. So
and then let me clarify one thing.
Yes, Prof.
Nothing can be further from the truth than this allegation that he was traveling with Beninois passport. No. How that came about, I wouldn't know. Again, maybe it's just a case of giving the dog a bad name so as to hang it. Igboho was traveling with a valid Nigerian passport. not Benin passport. Yes, he was stopped at the airport. He was taken in by the police, and they have since been arraigned in court, and hearing has commenced. And hearing will continue on Monday.
So, Prof,
and he's enjoying the services of some of the best lawyers in Benin Republic.
So, Prof, Sunday Igboho is not it's not a citizen of the Benin Republic. So why is he arrested? ECOWAS law allows people to move. ECOWAS law allows people to move from one citizen to move from one country to the other.
You will remember that Buhari started taking some steps way back by closing the Nigeria-Benin border. And people thought it was to stop smuggling of rice. No, it wasn't. It was an act. It was an act of hostility against the Yoruba of Nigeria and the Yoruba of Benin. I can tell you that confidently. Now, Sunday was able to find his way to the Republic of Benin to board the flight to wherever he was going. There's freedom of movement. Mm-hmm. Of course, he felt that since...
So why was he arrested?
Since the federal government... Pardon?
Why was he arrested?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, why was he arrested if ECOWAS law permits...
The federal government... The federal government had posted Buratai to Benin as an ambassador.
Yes.
An action which should raise, which is curious. Why will a retired general be posted to Benin Republic? Now, Nigeria doesn't have full ambassadorial, how shall I put it?
Relationship
in Benin Republic. What Nigeria has here is chargé d'affaires.
Yes.
So, but they now decide to post Buratai because of whatever sinister motives they have against us. And it is Buratai who went and put his name on the watch list at the airport.
Interpol.
Yeah, requesting the Interpol to arrest him.
Well, the
Benin authorities have said, yeah.
Yeah, are you saying that Benin Republic...
The Benin authorities have nothing against him because he has not...
Prof. We lost Prof again.
The service is really, really bad.
Yes,
I think maybe we should quickly
move
to...
Prof again.
Maybe we should move to Pastor now before we close the show.
Yeah, let's move to the pastor.
Yes, Pastor.
The tail end to that question Chief Adodo asked. You were trying to, is Prof speaking? Prof, are you there, sir?
You can speak on his behalf because his reception is not good.
Okay.
So my question is this. ECOWAS law permits people to move from point A to point B. And Benin Republic is an independent country. So somebody goes in there, they should be able to use their initiative to say, we are not going to arrest. Why would Buratai tell Benin Republic officials to arrest him when they can act on their own? So my question is, why is he arrested? What is he arrested for?
Okay, I can hear the voice of Prof speaking. Prof, are you speaking on, or can I take it from there? Okay.
Take it from there because we cannot hear. Pastor, take it.
Yeah. Prof was saying something, but I can, okay. He was just explaining to us that because Buratai was posted there, and the Buratai issue, in the extension of the declaration that has been issued on him in Nigeria So Buratai expedited that. And he also released the instruction to the Interpol. And the name was enlisted in the airport as one of the persons on watch list since he's been declared wanted in Nigeria. And that was how Interpol apprehended him and released him to the Benin government. Benin on their own, Benin police did not even arrest him. But the Interpol did and handed him over to Benin. And because Benin is a law-abiding country, you can see the way they have decided to follow the process by law. You have been declared as a wanted person in your country home. Then now that we have seen you, we can always hold you down and inform them that we have seen you. And you can see how the process continues.
Process is going.
That was how we got here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. As Silano Movement coordinator in US, I want to know what are the strategy that the diaspora people want to use in this movement in support of what is going on back home.
Thank you. You see, one of the good resources and one of the blessings that we have is that maybe for a purpose like this, God have decided to create us differently. And I used to tell our people that it is not a mistake that we have innumerable number of us in the diaspora. And if you can see what we are doing, we've been so civil and we have been engaging them intellectually. And that is what we know, the power of advocacy and the power of sensitizing our people and the power of crying out for help to the international community, where the rule of law and it is being respected. And because we also belong to the international community, we identify our role, in this agitation, and we know we have to be in the forefront. Most of the time, I do give kudos to the people at homeland on what they have done so far. Anything you do against not even against, in that country, against their own agenda, the rulers that we have, you should always know that it's as good as a suicide mission. And that's the way they have been seen. And that is why they believe against the law, they can do anything to kill, to maim, to stop and to silence anyone that want to ask for their own rights. Now, that is something I want to quickly clarify. You see, for us, Nigerian people, there are only two classes of people. It is only where things are normal that you have leadership. But against that, what they have in Nigeria is rulership. And the rulers, they are the people that we call the Fulani caucus now.
Yes.
Where I have bucketed them is this. The masses on their own. Then, this ruler, they comprise, or let me say this Fulani, they comprise the Fulani born people. They comprise the Fulani machinery that were imported into the country from other neighborhood countries. They also comprise the political elite, whether they are Igbo, Yoruba, Ibibo, or what have you. Put them together, they are the elite class who are the ruling class. They are not leaders, they are rulers. They are the Fulani. And that is why when Chief did mention that, why did Jonathan did not do this? Why did Obasanjo did not do this? When you still look at the agitation, you will still understand and see that all those that are benefiting from the corruption on the ground, that are benefiting from that government, they still belong to the same class. They still speak same voice. And that is why we are not expecting something too much from them. But with our intellectual prowess, with our exposure, with what we have, with our resources, our people that are in the diaspora, we believe with our support, we will be supporting the masses on ground at homeland. We cry out on their behalf, we agitate on their behalf, we synthesize on their behalf, we write letter on their behalf. And with this, of course, the whole world will see, because you can see them the way they are trying to hide everything there. And that is why you see them fight against the press, against the media, even ordinary WhatsApp. They went and borrowed money and sponsored B to stop the usage of WhatsApp. You know, they could stoop so low to that level. So for us, what is our power? Our power lies in our people. Yoruba in United States alone, way over adults and children, well over 1.5 million. And we know one thing, when we come together as one family, when we push our project, our education, we take it everywhere, all the government offices, we are sure that the world will listen to us. And that is why we have been growing organically from one unit family to community, and everyone is part of this, whether a Yoruba church, a community, maybe an Egbeyemi Ijesa, or what have you, and every other group, register or register former, informer. As long as you are a Yoruba person, we are just this one family together. So we are building that cohesion of a community so that our voice can combine to be one, then while we support what is going on. Our belief is that we are getting out of that contraption. And we go by way of, you know, not by their own way, but by the way the Lord God has released unto us and has been governed and been led by our own leaders, a professor and the people that you can see and his team. And I tell you, we are having results, and we are also using this medium to call on every Yoruba person in the United States of America and wherever you may be listening to this. It is time that we come together to take our rightful place. We are the glory of the Black nation. And I'm sure by the grace of God, we are going to get our freedom. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have just one question for you.
I'm very, very time challenged, you know,
okay.
very time challenged.
Okay.
So, you can ask a question if we can try to keep our responses very, very, not so lengthy so that, I'm not cut off. Go ahead, Queen.
I'm sorry. Last question. Is there a way that the movement is involving the youth of the Yoruba youth? Because there's no more what is called history. So are you working, is the movement trying to inculcate the youth into what people are doing?
Apparently, yes. Of course, we know without the youth among us, of course, it will soon expire. But I can tell you we have several projects in line that, of course, that we have been using to attract our youth. Both the youth that were brought here when they were little and they have now become an adult, or even the ones that are still in their training in their field, and they have been doing wonderful job. Some of them have even gathered to even go to some of the powerful offices. Some have approached the congressmen. Some have approached even the office of in the United States here. Letters have been raised, and this year have been at the front of the fight. And I can tell you, more of them are also saying we are part of this. And what we have been doing it at a level is to institute some program that will encourage them. We have also been, starting some talent hunt, because there are great potentials in them that are on top. So we have been identified this potential, and we have been trying to also, ensure that we implement those programs that will make them feel all inclusive. So they are part of this, and they are excited that they have a pathway back to their ancestral home.
Great. Thank you very much, Pastor. We're very, you're welcome to come back to this show at any time. I want to say a very big thank you to you and also to Prof. Prof, thank you so much for taking your time. I know it is quite late over there in Cotonou. At this time, it's almost 10 or 10:30 at night, and then you still took your time to be on the program, to participate and to shed light into a lot of things that we're having doubts about and to pass information out to our viewers and our listeners, I want to thank you very much. Feel free to come back on this program. You know how to reach me, so you're welcome at any time. Thank you so much, Pastor. We appreciate you as well for also being part of this show. I also want to say a big thank you to our members of the Queen, Dr. David Adodo, and also to my brother Charles. I want to say thank you so much. That is why this program is here. To out and cast doubts. It is unfortunate that we say we're practicing democracy in Nigeria. However, our own type of democracy is different. In every democratic country or in any democratic process, there has to be room for protest. Everything that you do cannot be right. I have a right to say no to certain things that you do or say. America is a great country today because they appreciate and they appreciate and give room for that opposition to be there. You have a right to say no. Our children are able to go to congressmen, go to various places to submit letters, to talk to them. How many of them can go talk to a senator in Nigeria? That is what we're talking about. And you cannot continue to oppress one side of the country and favor the side of the country that you come from. It's either there's Nigeria or there's no Nigeria. Let's face facts. If you come out of the United States, I am an American. I've not heard anybody say that I'm from North America or South America. No, I am an American. It should be the same thing when I'm in Nigerian. It shouldn't matter where I come from, north, east, west. If we're going to school in the South and the cutoff mark is $250, why is it $100? I mean, why is it 100 in the North? It doesn't make any sense. That's why we have substandard, graduates coming out of the North, and they get into all these government offices and they say all kinds of outrageous things. A lot of them are in the government offices. They don't even know what office they hold and what they should be doing, because they went to all these substandard schools, because it got in, easy. And then people in the South suffering, qualified, and yet they cannot get into schools. And when it comes to sharing money, majority of course, we know that majority goes to the North. The South gets nothing. It just gets stipends. And yet the South is able to manifest itself with those stipends. So I believe you can see the reason why there's agitation from everywhere everybody wants to go. Yoruba wants to go, Biafra wants to go, Akwa Ibom wants to go, because it is not working. And the only way it's going to work is when you're fair to everybody. It has to be a fair playground. You have to be fair to everybody. If you build a hospital in the North, you have to put a hospital in the South somewhere. Yes. If there's natural resources in the South, it needs to stay in the South. You don't have to build a pipeline all the way to the North to carry the oil from the Delta. It makes no sense. The Delta people didn't tell you they don't have land for you to build your refinery. It doesn't make any sense. So all those imbalances, all those things have been going on for years, and people have been holding back. It's gotten to a point now they cannot hold back no more. And that's why you see this agitation. And you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. Because whether you like it or not, whether NBC tell you don't release the footage from people that are being killed by the Fulanis, don't release the names of the victims, don't do this. Hey, we know it is happening. It cannot be stopped. Regardless, the social media, whether you fight Twitter 100 times, it's not going to work. They just came out and said they didn't know that, they're denying that they didn't know that Twitter deleted the president's tweets. Like Mohammed was everywhere talking about that nonsense. Fighting Twitter and all that. We all heard it. The same government came out and said they didn't know that Buhari's tweets were deleted. Unbelievable. We had a senator today that rose up and said that I moved a motion that Nigeria should be divided. Honorable Kingsley Ojudo Chinda from Obi from Rivers State moved that motion in National Assembly. Let's see how that goes. I know they're going to sit on it, they're going to quell it, but he's brave enough to come up and say something. There are so many senators in the House of Reps people that are there. They're just there to collect their salary and benefits and go. They don't care. When somebody's on the floor talking and negotiating their next deal. So we have to have decorum. It's a lot. It's been going too much. That's why every time I have noticed anytime we have another leader in Nigeria, we seem to go back 10 steps or 15 years behind. And then when the next person comes, he has to play catch up and move on. We cannot continue. We cannot continue. And that is why there's always agitation and all this stuff going on. So we are challenged for time. We would love to have you guys come back. These are members of Ilana Omo Udua. We appreciate you guys coming on the program today and airing out and clearing lots of things to our viewers, to our listeners. Thank you so much for coming. On behalf of the David Adodo Show on African Voices Radio, we look forward to having you some other time. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. My name is Tunde Phillips, and we have come to the end of the program. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. I will reach out to you soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to apologize for the breaks. I was on the road all along. I don't want to tell you.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I was on the road all along. So sometimes there'll be no signal.
Yes.
I'm sorry for the breaks. So I hope we meet again, and then we can talk more about these things.
Most definitely.
Maybe by then, we will have had our own autonomous Yoruba nation.
Amen.
We look forward to it. Most definitely, Prof. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. You have a program, you have an activity or anything going on. I'm reachable, and then we can also, we can put it out there. Then we'll go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Everybody for being part of the show. We will see everybody again next weekend. Please be safe. COVID is real.
Thank you very much.
Wash your hands. Put on your mask. 6 feet. Do the best you can to protect yourself. And above all, get vaccinated. That's the key. Get vaccinated. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
You're listening to African Voices Radio.
Baba Show, Baba Show. Akèrègbè ní ìjú ebi okùn owó lòdì fà fún múnimúni ayé sátì mọ́ fi alẹ́ hàn lọ. Baba Show, Baba Show. Wọ́n ní ó wá jẹ Sahara. Olọ́jọ́ ti súnmọ́nú jù ṣépò la ní òmú wá tàbátà aláṣejù bàbá ṣe tẹ́ bàbújọ 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 òkùnkùn yóò mẹ́ni ọ̀wọ́ asọ̀rọ̀ kẹ́lẹ́ bojú wo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ìgbẹ́mọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ní ọ̀rẹ́ ṣọ́ ẹnu ẹ̀. Ṣùẹ́nuẹ̀ bẹ́nuẹ̀ ṣùẹ́nuẹ̀. Ọ̀làjà ní forí gbogbo. Tán bá ń bá ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ṣe ni kò gbọ́. Kò gbé ṣan sílẹ̀. Ṣọ́ra rẹ̀. Àwẹ̀. Ṣọ́ra rẹ̀ ṣọ́ra rẹ̀. Bára lé ẹni bá ń jẹ́ kòkòrò. Ó yẹ ká wí fún un. Torí bó bá délẹ̀ òun bá mú àgbájú sọ fún. Ṣọ́ra rẹ̀. Ṣọ́ra rẹ̀. Bára lé ẹni bá ń jẹ́ kòkòrò. Ṣé bó yẹ ká wí fún? Torí bó bá délẹ̀ òun bá jọ àbámú sọ fún. Jẹ́ ká mọ ohun táwọn ṣe. This is the story of a man. He like it all day. If you tell him he no go, yeah. He like it all day. Show himself to break the bottle just to show the anger. This is the story of a woman. She like it all day. If you tell her she know they talk anyhow, open the mouth like basket. So they talk shitty, yo, talk jazzy, yo, talk rubbish and nonsense. This is the story of a sister. She like it all day. If you tell her body no be so she go say mind your business. So cause I be getting my money.
Thank you for listening to African Voices Radio, the David Adodo Show, truly the voice of Africa. We'd love to hear from you. You could send us an email to africanvoicesradio@gmail.com. That's africanvoicesradio@gmail.com. By the way, African Voices Radio is reaching all over the diaspora and around the globe. If you'd like to advertise with us, make sure you get in contact with us. You can also send us an email for your advertising request and find out about our rates on advertising on our program. You can send us an email to africanvoicesradio@gmail.com. Until next week, family, if it's 8 o'clock in Nigeria, it must be time for African Voices Radio, the David Adodo Show. And don't forget, as Prince Tunde said, make sure you wash your hands, stay masked up. If you have the ability to get the shot, please take the shot. And make sure you practice social distancing. It may not be for you whose life you may save. It may be someone that you love that you may save in the process. So let's try to be responsible during these pandemic times. Again, until next week, family, God bless. And we will see you next week.
orí ọmọ tó ṣe wájú ojú ẹ̀mí hàn olódì dandan kó gbẹ́nu sí bàbá ó jẹ́ lọ ṣú ẹnu ẹ̀ mámúyàn aráàlú ẹni bá ń jẹ́ kòkòrò ó yẹ ká wí fún torí bó bá délẹ̀ òun bá mú àgbájú sọ fún. Bárálí ẹni bá ń jẹ́ kòkòrò ṣe bó yẹ ká wí fún torí bó bá délẹ̀ òun bá jọ àbámu sọ fún jẹ́ ká mọ ohun táwọn ṣe. This is the story of a man. He like it all day. If you tell him he no go, yeah. He like it all day. Show himself to break the bottle just to show the younger. This is the story of a woman. She like it all day. If you tell her she know they talking anyhow, open the mouth like basket. So they talking shitty, yo, talking jazzy, yo, talking rubbish and no. This is the story of a sister. She like it all day. If you tell her body no be slow, she go say mind your business, so cause now we getting my money.